In this video, I'm going to show you the process of designing a logo and packaging for a honey brand in Adobe Illustrator. I will share with you a lot of valuable tips about the process and also the tools I use in Adobe Illustrator that make the design process way more efficient. This video tutorial, I'm going to be covering those topics. At first, we are going to go over the creative brief of this project. Then we're going to do a competition research, and after that, we're going to generate some design ideas for our packaging and a logo, and also create a mood board. Then we're going to design a logo, and after the logo is ready, we're going to start designing the packaging. At the end of the video, I'm going to show you how to present the final packaging using different mockups. So make sure to watch till the end. The first step in this project is going to be going over the creative brief for this project. So we know the design requirements and what we will be designing. The brand name is Heaven Hun, which is a honey brand that produces organic honey. The target customer for this brand are families who care about eating organic foods. The packaging style we're gonna go for in this project is modern and colorful. We're going to achieve modern design by using modern fonts and also enough of white space in the packaging. Also, we want the packaging to be very colorful, which is going to represent the vision of this brand, which is bringing happiness and joy to people. We're going to do it by using very bright yellow colors in our label design. And now, as we know what we will be designing, now it's time to analyze the competition. This is a very important step as it will give us an overview of what's out there and how to make our packaging different from competitors. Our goal is to make packaging that is going to stand out from the competition and catch an eye of the target customer. I have done some research on Pinterest and Google and have found some products of our competitors, honey brands. By analyzing the products, I found that there are two main styles that honey brands use. So I separated those styles in two rows. In the first row, you can see those brands use pastel colors with a white background. And in the second row, you can see that those brands use black and yellow color palette. Those brands give luxury and modern feeling. After analyzing the competition, now we know what style our competitors are using, so it will help us to design the packaging that is unique. Now we can go ahead and create a mood board for our brand. I'm gonna go on Pinterest to find some inspiration and design elements that I would want to incorporate in our packaging design. As I mentioned earlier, I want our packaging to be very colorful. To do that, I'm going to use a yellow gradient. So I'm going to find similar yellow gradient that I would want to use and paste it in our mood board. Also, I would want this packaging to be minimalistic. As you know, the design of luxury brands employs the clean, minimalistic and uncluttered look. So I found an example of very clean and luxury packaging. So I'm going to copy and paste it into our mood board as an example. Also, I'm going to add an illustration of honeycombs and bees to our mood board. And finally, I'm going to go to Envato Elements to find some photography that is going to represent this brand. We have finished creating the mood board, which is going to give us an understanding of what packaging we're going to design and the style we're going to go for. And now let's start designing the logo for this honey brand. And now let's start designing the logo for Heaven Hun honey brand. My vision for this logo is I want the logo to be very simplistic, elegant, and beautiful. I would want this logo to be a word mark, so the font is going to be the main feature in this logo. So I'm gonna go to Envato Elements and find some beautiful fonts for the logo. Envato Elements is a great tool to use for any designers. With one subscription, you will get access to all tools, such as images, graphic templates, fonts, photography, and more. If you're interested to check it out, go to the description below where you can find a link to Envato Elements subscription page. I'm going to scan through the page and find the fonts that I like. I have found those beautiful 3 fonts, so I'm gonna go ahead and download them. I'm going to add those fonts to the artboard. Let's analyze the fonts. The first font is called Zelina Regular. I'm not a big fan of the first font because I don't like how the letter A looks like and how curvy the letters are. This font won't fit with the style we're going for. But I really like the second font. The name of this font is Checkers. This font looks very professional, modern, but also has an elegant touch to it. The third font that I picked is going to be used as a secondary font for body text. The name of this font is Acumen Variable Concept. As we pick the second font variation as the main font for the logo, I'm going to start customizing the font. Looking at the font, I don't like the rhombus shape in the middle of the letter O. I'm going to remove the shape by taking those steps. At first, you need to expand the shape by going into the Object tab and click Expand, which is going to expand the shape, and then you need to ungroup it. And by using a shape builder tool that you can find on the left toolbar, you can remove the unwanted object by holding Ctrl and then dragging the mouse over the object that you want to remove. Then I'm going to customize the letter A because I don't like that the letter A doesn't have a line on the middle. At first, I'm going to duplicate the letter E by holding Ctrl-Alt and then dragging the object to the side. Then I'm going to draw a shape on the top of the elements that I want to get rid of. And by using a shape builder tool, I'm going to remove the unwanted elements. And now we're left with a line that I can use in the letter A. After I place the line in the letter A, you can see it's not even. I'm going to move that line up so it aligns with other letter elements. And now we finished customizing the font. And now I'm going to go to Adobe Color Wheel to find the color palette that I want to use in the logo and packaging design. In Adobe Color Wheel, I'm going to go to the Explore tab, and in the search bar, I'm going to type the word honey. So it generated the images and color palettes that are connected to that word. I'm going to analyze color palettes, and if I like a color palette, I'm going to add it to the library. Once I found the color palettes I like, I'm going to go back to Illustrator. To access the color palette, you need to go to Windows tab and then select Libraries. You will get a pop-up, and in the pop-up select the option My Libraries, where you can find all the saved color palettes from Adobe Color Wheel. I'm going to make the word Han an orange color so it differentiates from the word heaven. Just to note that this word Han is a short form for the word honey. I'm going to create a honeycomb shape by using a polygon tool that you can find in the left toolbar. I'm going to play around and see where this honeycomb shape is going to look the best, on the left or on the right side. I decided to place the honeycomb shape on the right-hand side and color the shape in the same orange color. Then I'm going to cut the parts of the shape by using scissors tool that you can find on the left toolbar. You can right-click on the razor tool and then you will get a pop-up where you can select the scissors tool. Then I'm going to cut the parts of the shape so it's going to incorporate into the word hun. Then I'm going to round the corners of the honeycomb by using a direct selection tool. We have finished designing the logo. It looks very minimalistic, simple, and beautiful. As we finished designing this beautiful logo, now it's time to start designing packaging. And now it's time to start designing the packaging. The first step we need to do is to create an artboard. It doesn't matter what size of the artboard you create, because it will be the place where we are going to generate the design ideas. The first step we need to take is to place all the content on the artboard. The content that we will need to use in the packaging design, such as a logo and the text. As I mentioned earlier, we are going to use a lot of color in the label design. We are going to have a yellow gradient background, but it's going to be a unique gradient because we will be using a mesh tool to create this gradient. To create the gradient, at first we need to draw a rectangle. Then I'm going to make that rectangle an orange color, which will be the base color of the gradient. Then I'm going to go to the Object tab, and in the drop-down menu, I'm going to select Create Gradient Mesh. You will get another pop-up where you will need to select how many rows and columns you want to have in that mesh gradient. In this case, I'm going to select 2 rows and 2 columns. Now this rectangle got the lines and also the points on the middle of lines. You can add the color to those points by selecting a mesh tool that you can find on the left toolbar. With the selected tool, you can edit the color of each point. You can also change the position of the point by dragging the point to different sides. If you'd like to add more columns or rows, you can just click on one of the lines that we have in the rectangle. And now I'm just going to play around with the colors in the gradient and make it look to my liking. I have finished making the gradient. The gradient looks kind of like honey. Looks very beautiful. And now I'm going to add all the content on the top of the background. After that, I'm going to style the text by making it white and also changing the fonts. The first thing I'm going to do is to add the background under the logo, so it's easier to see it. I'm going to use the polygon tool again to create the honeycomb shape. To remove the extra shape on the top, I'm going to draw a rectangle on the top of the part that I want to remove, and then using the shape builder tool, I'm going to remove the unwanted element. I'm going to reorganize the main text in order of importance. The honey word is the most important, so I'm going to make it the biggest in font size. I'm going to add a small design element, a maple leaf by the text that says a product of Canada. The last design element that I'm going to add to this design are honeycombs. In this polygon shape honeycomb, I'm going to change the stroke profile to width profile 2. And now I'm going to place this honeycomb design element all over the background. The first design for the honey jar is complete. I'm going to create 2 more designs, so we'll have different design options to choose from at the end. Let's create the second design option. I'm going to create another design options of the packaging, but I want this design to look more simplistic. In this version, I'm going to make the logo white color and reorganize the positioning of the text. The second design version for the packaging is done. This packaging variation has more white space and it looks more minimalistic. And now let's start designing the third and final design option of the label for the honey jar. I'm going to duplicate the first design variation, so I can reuse the design elements. In this design variation, I'm going to add the gradient design to honeycombs. To do that, I'm going to select the gradient tool, and in the pop-up, I'm going to select the freeform gradient, which is the last option out of 3 options. At the top bar, you will have the option to select points or lines. In this case, we'll select the lines option. This feature will allow us to modify one point and then draw the lines using that point. It's a very useful tool to use if you want to create custom gradients. I'm going to create a gradient in the shape. Closer to the edge of the shape, I'm going to have darker orange colors, and then I'm going to decrease the opacity. And on the inside, I'm going to have lighter orange and yellow colors. The honeycomb gradient is done. Looking at the design, the background looks too busy, so I'm going to remove the mesh gradient background and make the background gradient more simplistic. For this gradient, I'm going to use a freeform gradient option. And I'm going to move all those elements around, such as the logo, fonts, and also honeycomb shapes. I have finalized the design of the third label variation. The design looks beautiful. The 3 design variations are done. They look beautiful. As we finish designing labels for the honey jar, now it's time to prepare them for the presentation using different mockups. I'm going to use Envato Elements to find different mockups for the honey jar. In the search bar, I'm going to search for honey jars. It gave me a huge selection of mockups that I can choose from. I found this mockup and I think it's going to look amazing with the style we're going for. As you notice, throughout the whole process, I have used Envato Elements a few times to find fonts, photography, and also mockups. Envato Elements is #1 website every designer should subscribe to. With one subscription, you will gain access to all the assets in this website, from amazing high-quality videos and photography to graphic templates, illustrations, fonts, and more. If you are interested to check it out, make sure to go to the description below where I left a link to the subscription page. Make sure to use that link to sign up with Envato Elements. I'm going to open Photoshop with the mockup that I picked in Envato Elements. In the editable layer, I'm going to paste the designs that we just created. I'm going to create a mockup for those 3 designs that we created. However, I'm going to pick only 2 designs out of 3 that we are going to go with. Looking at those 3 mockups with different design variations, I think I'm going to eliminate the middle variation. On my opinion, the first and the last design variations look the best. I created 2 different package designs, and let me know in the comments below which one you like the most, the first version or the second version. I'm super curious to hear your feedback. As the packaging design is done, now let's see the presentation for those 2 package designs. I hope you enjoyed watching this packaging design tutorial, and I hope you got some useful information about the process and different tools I use in Adobe Illustrator. Make sure to like this video if you want to see similar videos, and also don't forget to subscribe to this channel and turn the notification bell on so you can be notified when I post similar videos about packaging design and also logo design. If you want to follow my story and see the behind-the-scenes work, please make sure to follow me on my Instagram. Make sure to check out some of my other design tutorials to learn more about the process and Adobe Illustrator tools. Thank you, and I will see you in the next video.